Hi there, I hope you're doing really well today, and welcome to this little video tutorial on the experience of unburdening using journaling. First, I'll just say that this video is actually aimed at people who know a little bit about IFS, already know some of the language, words like unblending, self-energy, all the different C words to describe self-energy, and triggered, any words that might sound a bit jargony if you don't know. If you do know, hopefully that they will just seamlessly come into this video and help to explain what I'm talking about. If that's not the case and I've gone into jargon and you don't understand, please do feel free to just hit reply to this email, send me a question, call me on it, because I can sometimes get way too complex, and just ask a question. I'm really happy to demystify anything I've said that's gone a bit complex. I will also say that this exercise is mainly designed for people who are in a bit of turmoil, so who are experiencing being triggered and would like to find out more about that and want to explore it in order to find relief, in order to find eventually an experience of gradual unburdening from what it is that life is pointing us to. So one word that we use often in IFS is the word trailhead. So really this is a way of focusing in on a trailhead, and that can be in order to enhance IFS therapy that we're already having, or alternatively it can be used just independently on our own, to find out more about IFS, to work with our parts, and to work with life and what life throws at us and the wisdom that it can unfold for us if we pay attention and if we bring more awareness to the good and the bad. I will just say on that note, it isn't easy to begin to bring awareness to the things that upset us, that annoy us, that frighten us, that anger us. And the wages are so high when we start to get into the rhythm of doing that, because we begin to have more self-awareness, we begin to feel more freedom from those things that have been driving us, or habits that we've had and habits of reaction. But be gentle with yourself as you start to practice this discipline, because our systems are designed not to feel intense emotion, not to be overwhelmed. So really be kind to yourself, just as you would when learning any new thing, as you embark on this journey of self-discovery using the Pause and Unburden journaling exercise. So having said that, let's plunge in, and we'll look at the first column. What am I noticing in my body? We are just going to be focusing on this first column in this video tutorial, and I would just say that it's actually a really, really great place to start, right in the body. And the reason I say that is because certainly in our society and culture, and personally, and I'm speaking for myself as well, I know I can often get very blended with parts of me that really want to analyse, want to intellectualise and really think through everything that's happening for me. And that can be interesting and fruitful in its own way. And it's also, in my understanding, these are parts of us that are great tools in service of self-energy, but they can take over. Speaking for myself, they can definitely take over, and they can kind of hijack the experience of personal development, personal growth, personal exploration, and the practice of mindfulness. So really, really mitigating the risk of those parts blending with us, we start with the question, what am I noticing in my body? I will just say that it is actually really useful to have some support as we embark on this and look at this question. So I find it much, much easier to do any journaling exercise that could potentially be painful when I know that maybe not right now, maybe not even today or tomorrow, but soon somebody is going to be listening to the words that I write, and someone's going to be interested in holding that in a caring way with self-energy. So as I said before, this process can be used to enhance the experience of IFS therapy, but it can also be used if we just have a friend or someone on a spiritual path that is interested in IFS or interested in mindfulness or the experience of awareness and growth and personal development. and has some time to listen to our words and to notice our observations as we go through our lives and get triggered, as we all do. So that can really help me if I even sometimes do what I call bookend. So if something's badly triggered me and I know I want to use this exercise, but there are parts of me that don't want to go there and don't want to make that time, then sometimes I'll bookend with a friend or an IFS buddy, and I'll just say, I'm just going to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes just having a look at what's happening for me and what's happening for my parts. And I'll text you again when I've finished to let you know I've done that. And could we arrange to speak so that I can fill you in on what's been happening for me in my system, my internal family system. So that's just a little clue that discipline is always really aided by support and having friendly, loving hands around us. But that's not essential for this. This is also something that we can do and keep private for ourselves. So the next thing I would say is, let's look at the question, what am I noticing in my body? Well, I think the really important thing to make sure that we don't get blended with parts of us that get over serious or have to be very precise or perfectionist is keep this light, have a really light touch when it comes to noticing this. One of the reasons that I structure this exercise as a series of columns is because actually it doesn't allow for us to write reams and reams. Sometimes just a word or even a sound written phonetically on the page can really, really help to start to bring to life and bring to form an awareness of a part. So, sometimes I'll put ah or ooh or eek, and sometimes I'll put just lips shaking or fist in my stomach. Some of these parts are a bit maybe pre-verbal and all they can really do is tremble, and so sometimes I'll notice the trembling and I'll put trembling. Sometimes I'll notice I'm a particular temperature or feeling particularly jumpy or a bit flat, and sometimes a metaphor will come to my mind like steel or ice or something, and I'll often try and anchor it in a particular part of my body, like I might put heavy legs or concrete jaw or something, and really just trust the words that come into your mind, the intuition that your wisdom brings you, and just jot them down, just very lightly, light like a feather, just even bullet points, just putting them down, these few things, what am I noticing in my body? And I encourage you to have this be a time of light meditation with your journal, basically, with your pen and paper. I encourage you to have it be a quiet time, a time then you're not going to be disturbed, maybe switch the phone off. And I often find it very helpful as well to time boundary the exercise. And, if it feels best to do one column at a time, that's great. And as I said before, it's very fruitful to simply only do this column. There's no need to go through with this whole exercise. Bringing awareness to the parts of us and how they show up is a really great foundation for any further IFS work that we want to do, as well as meditation work. So I'm going to end it there, keeping it really simple. Again, like I said, if you've got any questions about anything I've said, please feel free to hit reply and ask me those questions. I'll be glad to answer them. And another thing I would say is I'm a huge fan of meditation and having a mindfulness practice. So even if it's just a few minutes a day, that works really well with this work and really helps support this process of noticing and bringing kind awareness to all that we are. So just putting a little shout out there for meditation. So please feel free to get in touch if you need to, and in the meantime have a really lovely day, and I'll post the next video if you wish to receive that too. Press reply and request that. I can make sure that you also get the next video and we can go through this process together. Bye.